The legalization of same sex marriage in India. With the onset of June, also known as Pride Month, the discourse surrounding same sex marriage has gained importance. So, what exactly is its current status, and how should we proceed with this topic? Let us begin with some history. Now, homosexuality has a long past in India, and several manuscripts reveal this. Ancient scriptures, such as the Rig Veda, statues, and vestiges from about 1500 BC, portray sexual activities between women. However, with the advent of Vedic Brahmanism and later British colonization, these encounters started to become less important. Colonial development has conditioned the perceptions of reproductive expectation. After 1974, homosexuality was excluded from psychiatric illness classifications and was decriminalized in different nations, including India. In 1994, South Africa became the first government to recognize the freedoms of homosexuals in a civil way. The US Supreme Court held in 1996 that no state should legislate against homosexuals for bigotry. Now, homosexuality was recognized in 2018 by the Indians in the case of Navtej Singh after decriminalizing Section 377 of the Indian Penal Code. The importance of legal marriage status. It provides financial rights, the freedom to file shared tax returns, health benefits, and certain rights that arise after a partner's death. The arguments for same sex marriage state that the restriction of same sex marriage violates the principle of equality. No one is affected by the same sex union. It does not cause harm or damage to anybody. There has also been no harm to culture or the deterioration of the legitimacy of traditional marriage in any place where same sex weddings are lawful. The arguments against same sex marriage state that it is immoral and unnatural. Same sex couples cannot replicate babies. The culture of marriage is built on the partnership of men and women. Same sex marriage under personal laws. In 1988, a Hindu service married two policewomen. While their marriage could not be registered and their jobs were revoked, their families and their cultures approved their union. In this manner, accepting same sex marriage under Indian personal marriage law can be a methodology to legalize the same. For example, recognition under the Hindu personal law of same sex marriage can be achieved by interpreting the current legislation in order to legalize partnership unions of same genders lawfully, defining the LGBT culture as a separate category, or amending the Act to allow same sex marriages. Same sex marriage under the Special Marriage Act. The Special Marriage Act of 1954, which makes it easier to marry people of different religions or who do not want their own laws limited, could be another route to legalizing same sex marriage. As it is, the Special Marriage Act seems only to refer to heterosexual couples as it specifies that the man should be 21 years old and that the woman should be 18 years old in order to get married. However, Section 4, subsection C can be changed so that a participant may have age 21 when it is a male and age 18 when it is a female in order to make same sex marriage lawful. Civil unions. Many have argued for the acceptance of same sex couples through civil unions rather than marriage. A civil union is a legally recognized arrangement similar to marriage, created primarily as a means to provide recognition in law for same sex couples. Civil union regulations have been enforced in the United States of America before homosexual marriage was allowed there. Many Latin American countries, European countries, Australia, and New Zealand introduced models of civil unions. Countries such as Germany have given those joining a civil union very restricted legal rights. The advantage of this model is that it faces less opposition and avoids the acerbic debate about whether marriage is necessarily heterosexual. However, providing social recognition to same sex couples is very fundamental. Notwithstanding the fact that marriage and civil unions provide the same legal rights, these institutions are not necessarily equal. Marriage as an institution has a cultural and social significance. For same sex couples, the social status granted by marriage is as fundamental as it is for heterosexual couples. A law which allows same sex couples to enter civil unions might discriminate against them on the basis of their sexual orientation. Therefore, it is essential to recognize that civil unions are not equivalent to heterosexual relations in lieu of marriage. It will also be essential to amend relevant laws such as the Indian Succession Act 1925, the Guardians and Wards Law 1890, the Workmen's Compensation Act 1923, and numerous other laws on succession, adoption, pensions, etc., in such a way that a civil union partner is awarded the civil union partnership. The global scenario. Around the world, countries vary in their opinions on same sex marriage, with some being accepting of it and some disapproving it and considering homosexuality a crime. Over the last century, the views on homosexuality have changed. It has been excluded from mental disorder categories, decriminalized, and has been provided with anti discriminatory rights through legislative measures. As of 2023, same sex marriage is legal in 34 countries, with the most recent country being Andorra. The petition to legalize same sex marriage. On November 25th, 2022, two gay couples moved the Supreme Court seeking recognition of same sex marriage under the Special Marriage Act, following which the court issued notices on the plea. The petition sought that the Special Marriage Act be made gender neutral by taking down any gender or sexuality based restrictions. On April 17th, the Supreme Court notified the composition of a five-judge bench that will hear the batch of petitions seeking legal recognition for same sex marriage. On April 17th, the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights said that the children raised by same sex parents may have limited exposure to traditional gender role models, which could impact their understanding of gender roles or gender identity. After a hearing that lasted 10 days, the Supreme Court has now reserved its verdict on the matter. Conclusion. The approach to dealing with same sex marriage is vast and complex. However, the desirability and feasibility of such an approach remains to be ascertained. There is a growing conviction that our present method of criminalizing same sex activity neither helps the homosexual nor protects society in general. Therefore, an effective and practical solution to this problem must be brought about.